Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Kloppp update for this Monday. I think it's the 7th of March. I am Gav, this is the LFC Daytrippers, and this is your daily news for Liverpool Football Club. Loads in there already. Watching, if you're watching, hit the like button, subscribe, share, all that messing, and of course put your comments in there, and we get through as many as we can in the next 20 to 30 minutes as we go through whatever is happening at the club. Let me see who's in. Gareth McDonald's this afternoon. Trippers, good to see Bobby Thiago and Mata back in training. Big up Gav, says Ali, fully fit squad again. Let's hope these stay fit for a long period. Sas Copboy says, morning Reds. One last Copboy before I start my journey to Anfield. Excited of the prospect of seeing Thiago in the flesh. Where are you travelling from? Are you travelling today for tomorrow's game? Let us know. Absolutely let us know. Just throw on any old jumper. Let's go, says Sas Copboy. Yeah, listen, I'm like that. Loads of jumpers, loads of tops, loads of fleeces, and I'm sure people will be commenting now in a minute as to if they predicted I was going to wear a fleece or not. But let's start with what Gareth McDonald mentioned there. Jurgen Klopp done his press conference, his pre-Inter Milan press conference, and he has given the news that it looks like Thiago and Matip are absolutely fine and should be available for tomorrow night. Firmino, he's not too sure on. He reckons that he might need a couple more days training. It's great news. It is great news. Just to have these amount of options is unbelievable. Like, I'll go on to what else Klopp spoke about in the press conference in a little bit, but to have them all back, you know, Matip misses the weekend because of illness. Thiago pulls up in the warm-up against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final, misses the game during the week in the Cup against Norwich, and misses the game at the weekend, but he's back now. So minimal amount of disruption there on Thiago, minimal amount on Matip. Of course, Firmino scores at the San Siro and has an injury soon after, or it's just after the game they spot something, and he's been out since then. You're probably looking at a couple more training sessions for Firmino, and he could be back for Brighton at the weekend. Dee Pearce this afternoon, I've loved the cheeky dinner break show. Yeah, I was a couple of minutes late. Sorry about that, but look, we're doing our best. We're absolutely doing our best. And Ontario, Canada is where Sas Copboy is coming from. Well, what to do, Sas Copboy, is when you get there, take loads of photos, throw them up on Twitter, tag us in them, and let us know how you're getting on. But is it your first? It is your first time, I think, going to Anfield. You'll have a brilliant time. You'll have an absolutely brilliant time. And if you need any suggestions on what to do, I don't know how long you're there for, but if you need any suggestions, I'm sure people in the chat, and I can even give you a few pointers as to where to go, what to see, and stuff like that. It is a long journey, says Kieran B. It is Ontario, Canada. That is a long journey, but it'll be well worth it, because Anfield will be bouncing tomorrow night when Inter Milan arrive in the Champions League. But look, as I said, Thiago being back just gives us that another dimension in midfield. We've actually done fine without him in the last couple of games, but just to have that option there is amazing. Matip has been outstanding all season. Kanate is growing all the time. Joe Gomez is showing signs that he can come back into the squad, and of course Virgil van Dijk is there as well. So to have them options is absolutely amazing. It really, really is. Sas Copboy, 7 hours flight to Dublin. Dublin. 90 minutes stopover, then on to Manchester. I hope it still counts as day tripping, even if it's taking me 3 days. It does, yeah. And of course, when you get to Manchester, you're half an hour to Liverpool, and you'll be absolutely flying. Cal Robinson says, great show last night, Gav. Fantastic to have a fully fit squad. Hopefully it stays that way. It was a good show last time. It was a good show last night. We had a great chat around Liverpool West Ham. We spoke about the top four. We touched on Manchester United in a big way. We spoke about the bottom three. We spoke about Inter Milan. We done loads last night. It was really, really good. And in fairness, Kev, Keith, Davide, they're all great at talking about football. So yeah, there's never an issue when them boys are on. Let me see. Saw an interview with Owen over the weekend talking about how he is now at an age where a whole generation don't know who he is. Either that or don't want to know who he is. Just on Michael Owen, I've seen something this morning where Michael Owen, I don't know whether it's on TV or in an interview or an article he writes, I'm not too sure, but Michael Owen has mentioned that Liverpool will have some huge news to announce soon. Now everybody has jumped on this as Salah, Mane, Firmino. Could it be a transfer? Could it be Jurgen Klopp staying on? Michael Owen really, from what I can make out, didn't say what he thought the huge news would be, but Michael Owen is now a Liverpool ITK, which is amazing. So there you go. If anyone has read the article or seen where it came from first hand, give us a shout and let us know. It is Sascott Boyd's first time at Anfield. You'll have an absolute ball. And as I said, ask in the chat there, they'll tell you what to do. Scouse Pie, check. Chicken Bazooka. Guinness in Dublin Airport, check. Yeah, the Guinness in Dublin Airport's okay. It's a pity it's only a 90-minute stopover. It was like if you were staying over for the day and then taking in the game tomorrow, you could find some outrageous pubs in Dublin for outrageous Guinness, to be perfectly honest with you. Konaté has been really outstanding this last month, really on the verge of nailing down a regular starting spot for G10. But this is what it's all about. You know, Matip, you could argue, up until about 4 or 5 weeks ago, Matip was our best centre-half this season. I include Van Dijk in that. So to have him back, it's just all about options. And it's going on then to what Jurgen Klopp said in his press conference. Like, he's going on again about this 5-sub thing in the Premier League. Now, listen, he might as well be talking to the wall that's behind me. He might as well be talking to that, because no one's going to listen. To bring this forward to the Premier League and to get a pass, you need 14 clubs to 14 plus, I think, to agree to it. And they're just not going to do it. They're just not going to do it because in their minds, which is quite narrow-minded, people think that it's a massive advantage to the bigger clubs. Well, no, it's not. We all have the same amount of players, but what happens is they all shout this down to get near the end of the season, which is we're approaching. You're going to have injuries, suspensions, and you'll be struggling. Yeah, you'll be struggling to put players on the bench. Plus, when you get them on the bench, you'll have players running their legs off themselves to try to keep you in the league or get you into Europe or wherever it might be. And you will only be able to change 3 of them. So it's no advantage at all. That's all a makey-uppy thing. This is what Klopp is saying, is that he's had to play. He's played Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday. He'll play Saturday. So it's an awful lot of games. He's saying, look, it's the toughest league in the world. He enjoys it, but he still can't for the life of him understand why we can't do 5 subs. And I'm with him. I think everywhere else is doing it. The FA Cup does it, the League Cup does it, the Champions League does it. Everywhere does 5 subs, except the Premier League, which is absolutely mad. If you're looking for a nice spot for dinner, Almost Famous do absolutely ridiculous burgers. Special mention for the Guy Ritchie. Almost Famous. There you go. Manny and Jota can push each other for a spot too, says Kieran B. Absolutely. Sascott is coming back in August. Week in Ireland. Oh, well, then you're sorted. And a week in Liverpool. This is a scouting mission that just happens to include a Champions League game. Nice one. The week in Ireland, you'll have a great time. Let us know, are you travelling around, or are you staying in Dublin, or what are you doing? But a week in Dublin followed by a week in Liverpool is absolutely quality. Chris Brack says, being at the game yesterday, you can see the fear VVD puts in attackers like the Jedi mind trick that I mentioned. I went to the game yesterday. Yeah, you're becoming like fucking Keith now after you went to Brentford. But look, it's Van Dijk is ridiculous. We spoke about him last night. Elliot and Jones can fight for a spot too. Yeah, this is what it's all about, fighting for spots. And you're seeing players being left out of squads where you go, geez, he only played 2 weeks ago, or I thought he might play, and they're being left out. If 5 subs is such an issue for English football, then why do we have 5 subs in domestic cups? It's a Premier League issue. It's not an FA issue. I think it's the rules in the Premier League that won't be changed. You need 14 of the Premier League sides to agree with you, and they won't. We've seen it, and we've seen managers come out and say that they don't want it, and they feel that it's an advantage to bigger teams. It's no more quality, same numbers, but players are still being ran into the ground. They're all human at the same time. You know what I mean? Just watch Murray McIlroy's efforts at the tailor-made long drive, 351 yards dead straight. Decided that's what I'm aiming for on the Trippers Golf Day. Best of luck. You can hit a 351 yards dead straight. You're in with a huge show. Robbie Richmond reckons 5 subs will be introduced next season. Not to fret. I don't think Salah has signed. It will break soon. How does he know? I haven't a clue. Is that what he thinks? Is that what he said? Because all I've heard is major news and nothing else after that. I think people are just putting Michael on major news Liverpool together and thinking it must be Mo Salah, but I haven't heard a thing about Mo Salah. Nobody has. If anyone's telling you that they've heard anything about Mo Salah, or they're telling you it's done, or he's signed, or nobody's heard a thing about Mo Salah. Trust me. And when it's signed, his agent will make sure that he has something to say on it, because that's what his agent is like. So there you go. We have good cover at every position except right back. It's unbelievable, says Richard Lefebvre. Yeah, Joe Gomez being put forward there. I'm not a fan of him at right back. I think during the summer, if Nico Williams leaves the club on a permanent basis, he's doing really well at Fulham. Right back cover is somewhere we look to go. I keep going on about this guy at Rangers. I want to say Tavernier or Tavernier. Tavernier, I think, is the way they pronounce it. He's so good at right back. He's good defensively. He gets forward. He gets assists. He scores penalties. A move for him to Liverpool, and to get the same amount of games as say a Simicast will get. I think that's just a left field show. They might go for someone younger, and look to build on that. But yeah, the options are ridiculous. They really are. Why the Premier League allow Chelsea to wear the FIFA club patch and Liverpool last time not, says Aslan Jacob. The rule around the last one was that when Liverpool come back they could wear it for one game, and then it went. I did see something over the weekend about are Chelsea wearing it for the rest of the season. Who fucking cares? Let them wear it. You know what I mean? They've probably changed the rule because they realised they didn't do right for Liverpool, so they'll do it right for someone else now. So look, it doesn't really matter. Gav, why does the club keep the contract secret? Is there any meaning to it, says Ali? Well, I don't know. Many clubs that come out and publicly tell you what way the situation is going with a contract. You know, Klopp has commented on it on 2 occasions now to say it's going okay. It's with regards to Salah, it's going okay. It's a normal contract situation, and they hope to be sorted out. So I don't see what the issue is. And as I said, nothing's being said. Nothing is being said on this from really either camp. You know, Salah has said, going back 3 or 4 months now, that he wants to sign. It's in their hands, and I believe when he says it's in their hands, it's his side and Liverpool. Klopp has said it's an ongoing situation, but that it'll sort out. After that, there's no other word in it, and that's the way you want it. You don't want this played out in public. It's being done in private. It might come around where he signs a contract and everyone's happy. He might not, and everyone might not be happy. But it won't be. I'd much rather that than it being done out in the public arena. I get people's frustrations. They want to know what's going on, but if there's nothing had to happen, there's nothing to be said. So there you go. Calvin Ramsey at Aberdeen, class right back, only 18, says G10. He also talks about the Salzburg right back. Jed Spence from Forest, really good. On loan from Middlesbrough though, I think. Forest play Huddersfield tonight. Hope we are looking at Spence. Is he on loan from Middlesbrough to Forest? I think he might be. I like Lamptey a lot, but would he join with Trent there? Jed Spence seems feasible, says Kieran B. We've just gone on a right back tangent, which is absolutely cool. Let me see. Yeah, look. Overall, the squad is fantastic, and we have all these players coming back. We're waiting on Firmino now, and then when we get Firmino in, we're back to full strength, and we're good to go for the rest of the season. But just on the thing with the 5 subs, he's pissing against the wind, you know. And I think it was Kev mentioned on the show last night, when you go to do something different, or you put something forward that's not the norm, you get shot down. And Klopp has been proven right on a couple of occasions. After being shot down, he's been proven right on a couple of occasions, and they've actually changed things. But listen, the easiest media narrative for it to be spun here is that Klopp is giving out and he's moaning because he's too many games. And yeah, he has loads of games, but he's not only talking about Liverpool. He's talking about all clubs. He's talking about helping clubs, regardless of what position they're in. You know, and you will, guaranteed, come the end of the season or before the end of the season, or when a team goes down and a manager's interviewed, you'll hear him say things like, you know, with the squad we had limited options, and we had a lot of youngsters there, and the lads that we had were playing them week in, week out because of our lack of options. Well, if you had 5 subs, you would be able to rest 1 or 2 during the game, if possible, and you could give youngsters a chance to come on the pitch and gain some experience. all that is good for every player in resting, in recovery, in getting experience, in getting games, in getting along in the game. But that just seems to be something that they're absolutely against. Ian Barron says there was 25 minutes injury time at the Darlington game on Saturday due to a medical incident with a Blythe supporter who collapsed and was taken to hospital in an ambulance. Wow. There was one similar at CE yesterday as well. I hope that fan, I don't know, Ian, if you found out what's going on there, but I hope the fan in question is okay. Dylan O'Rourke says, yeah, on loan from Borough, but they didn't bring him back because of Jones. They had there a right wing back. He is on loan from Middlesbrough. Yeah, so there you go. Middlesbrough have a real player in the hands, and he's got great experience with Forest, and he could go back to Middlesbrough, who are still in the show for the promote playoffs, I think, probably at best. But you never know, he could end up being a Premier League player next season. Anyway, if Middlesbrough were to find their way into the Premier League. What's for dinner says Mo or his agent or both are being greedy. There's more important things in life than money. 250k or 12 million per annum plus the commercial aspect, which you will benefit from being a Red, more than enough. Well, okay, what's for dinner, that's okay, but you don't know what he's being offered, and you don't know what he's asking for, and neither do I. And that's why I won't make any assumption on Mo Salah's demands or Liverpool's willingness to pay a certain amount. You know, like, the chance of this being true is minimal, but Mo Salah, okay, could be offered an extension with more money, but it could be a minimal amount of money. And it's very hard to judge it because Mo's contract at the moment, from the way you look at the financials of Liverpool when they report it, is it's very much a performance-based contract. So there's a base level, and then when you win this or win that or whatever it might be that's written into the contract, you get paid more. Liverpool paid out a huge amount of money from winning the Champions League and the league, and I think the latest contracts that they've handed out are not performance-based. They are a higher base, but with reduced performance on it. So it's hard to find, it's, some players have signed them, and I still believe he will sign one, but we don't know. It's very hard to judge what the figures are, in my opinion. And until now, we've only got one kind of quote from Mo Salah. We've got two responses from Jurgen Klopp. Both are probably the same story over the space of a month or two, and they all seem very, very calm about it. Mo Salah's not affected by what's going on with this. He's ridiculous. Return this season already, and he will continue to do that for me, barring injury, till the end of the season. So it's one of those where we can kind of say what we want and we can throw things out there, but we don't know. We just don't know, and we don't want to play it out in public. You simply don't. When it plays out in public, it very, very, very rarely ends well. So that's what I would do. Chris Bax reckons, how do we know he's being greedy? You are guessing at what he's being offered. We're all guessing. Sas Coppa would like to see the club offer a 6-year contract to Mo on 350 grand a week. Helps not break the wage structure massively, ensures Mo gets paid for the rest of his peak. I think 6 years might be a bit much. It's quite clear Mo wants more than 250k, otherwise he would have signed. Do you not think he's worth over 250k? Like, let me put it to you this way. Marcus Rashford is on 300 plus a week at Manchester United. Paul Pogba is on 300 plus a week at Manchester United. Jadon Sancho is on 300 plus a week at Manchester United. God knows what Ronaldo was on. Okay? Are you telling me if Mo Salah's asked for 300 grand a week, I don't think he's being greedy in any way, by the way. But I don't know if he is. I really don't know if he is. But the way I look at it is, so what's for dinner thinks he's not worth 250 grand a week. Okay. Well then, that's maybe where the greedy thing is coming from. Because I think if Liverpool get him at 300 grand a week from me for the next 4 years, we're making an absolute it's an absolute steal. The Gea is on 350 grand a week. There's loads of players out there and loads of money, and they're not doing what. They're not doing what Mo Salah is doing. Shawnee Loss said it shouldn't matter what United players are on. No, I know that, but the thing is, like, if he's asking for 250 grand or 300 grand a week, I don't know how you could consider him greedy. I don't think it's a greed thing. I think what it is that Mo Salah would want an X amount of money. Now, again, I'm saying all this because I haven't got a fucking clue what Mo Salah's looking for, right? But what I'm trying to get across here is that I don't think it's an unrealistic figure, 300 grand a week, for the player that he is and the output we get from him, okay? But Liverpool, the club, might go, we can't pay you 300 grand a week because we have a structure here, okay? And the structure is, it's had to changing for me in the last couple of months. And if they don't pay it, they don't pay it, you know? But that might be the bit that has to come out in public soon. You know what I mean? That might be it. Shawnee says he won't be as good anywhere else. He should feel lucky to play for us, in his opinion. He absolutely should. He absolutely should. But we see loads of players that get to 28, 29. They know it's the last big one. It's the last big one. And they're going to get what they can, right? But it's not a case of Mo Salah's going along, tumbling along here, our average numbers, and going, oh, is he worth it? Oh, do you know what? Give him one last big one and see what happens. We know what we're getting from him. The biggest issue here, I think, is what he's asking for, which I don't know what it is, and what the club are willing to pay. And I'm sure they're trying to meet somewhere in the middle because of that change, what it looks like a change from a basic to a heavily subsidised contract with regards to performance, to one where it's a higher base, less performance related. And can they find a percentage in there? Can they find the mix in there that's correct? I think they still will. But as I said, nobody knows what's going on. Shawnee says if he doesn't want to fit in line with the structure, he should play his ball elsewhere. That may happen. That absolutely may happen. Where he feels he's worth this, and the club says no, and he can't find it, and away you go. That may happen, but I don't know if it will. But Shawnee's throwing all these names at me. Alisson, yeah. Virgil, Fabinho, yeah. They've all signed, they've all committed, and there's been a change in their contract. From what we've read, there's been a change in their contract to a more, there's your level, there's your base. It's higher than what it was, and we reduce this down. And it doesn't cost the club a whole lot more money, I think. But it just guarantees players more money every week. So we'll have to wait and see. But on the Mo Salah thing, nobody knows anything. Like, we're all talking here about 300, 350, 400, this, that, and the other. The only thing I kind of know on it is that there's a slight, it looks like, that's from reading other people, there's a slight change in the way the contracts are put together now, as opposed to if you were signing one in 2016, 17, and even 18. Now it's slightly changed. Yeah, Guzmo says, bollocks. If we don't want to pay our best player and argue the best player in the world what he deserves, then there is something wrong with the structure. Yeah, you could argue that, but the structure's where it got us. The structure has got us here so far, and they manage things really well with regards to structure, finance, and things. You've just seen the financial results that have come out. That's not to say they didn't do things wrong during that period. You know, I've seen people being very black and white over it. Well, look, we only lost 5 million. Look where we were. Yeah, but they took major risks, and a lot was thrown on Jurgen Klopp's head during that. But having said that, if you do it for one, you could end up doing it for that. And it's not just because you have Alisson, Trent, Fabinho, whoever else signed deals, VVD. It's not because you've signed them and you can go, oh, here, we can give him all this money now because they've signed their contracts, right? I'm sure there's players in that group that know I've signed for this, but he's going to get more because look what he does, right? But it's who you're bringing in after that. And if a fella rocks up and you want to sign, say, a Jude Bellingham, just for argument's sake, and you want to give 80, 90 million quid for him, Jude Bellingham's going to walk up and he's going to go. Now, he's not actually, from what I've read, he's a bad example, Jude Bellingham, because what I've read, he's not actually driven by money. So pick somebody else. Say a Chiesa off Juventus, just for argument's sake, right? He's going to rock up and he's going to go, this fella's on 350 grand a week. They're offering me 150. I want something in the middle. And That's the snowball effect. That's where your structure suffers. It's not what's gone before or what you give him now. It's what's coming after. It's what's coming after. And it's Trent in 3 years' time when he's renewing. It's Jota when he's renewing. It's Curtis Jones. It's Harvey Elliott. It's whoever. That's where it affects your system. Let me read some out comments before we go. I don't know how we got down that tangent, but I love the discussion. I really do. Let me see. They can't afford to let this drag into the summer, says Carl Robinson. Hopefully get Salah signed up. He deserves it. Look at where Mo is compared to the best in the world. Not that is class Mo as a prime Messi, but Messi is on 650 to 700k basic at PSG, and he isn't pulling up trees. Yeah, but Messi is a horrible example to use. He's a horrible example to use. It's because of who he was and the name, and PSG wanted to say they have Lionel Messi. Ronaldo, I think his wages are reducing as he gets older, which is fair. But you look at Kylian Mbappe, it's 800 grand a week, rumoured to Real Madrid, 900 grand a week if he signs on for PSG for 2 more years. Like that's circus money, you know. That's not even in our ballpark. So I think that's a poor look. They're just crazy stuff, like crazy stuff. And as much as we go on about City, doing this, that, and the other, City don't pay 600-700 grand a week. They just don't. You know, the sort of way. 300 grand a week for 6 years, 100 million. That's what it costs to replace, not including the wages of his replacements, says Sass Cowboy. Yeah, that's an argument. That's absolutely an argument. But the argument could be that Liverpool could be confident that they could get a player for 50 million and pay him 50 million over 10 years and get a return off him. That's what it is. It's look, you can approach this from any angle you want, but the simple fact of the matter is he hasn't signed the contract yet. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what he's asking for. We don't know what, you know, if he's asked for something, what the club have reacted to and put a counter offer to him. We don't know. Let me see. Guzmo thinks we're at the point where we have to update the structure, not change, but update. So basically, like inflation, you know, 150 grand 5 years ago is now 200 grand, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's possible. It's all about balance. I expect Mo to stay and be top earner. Off the pitch commercially is worth a fortune to owners. I don't see his teammates kicking off. No, I don't think so. In any business, you have to change structure to stay at the top, Gav, whether footy, retailer, banking, etc., says Roger. Yeah, I've just agreed. An update to look at, but this is where I think the update has come from. The restructuring of the contracts, I think, is an update in the structure. You know, we were committing a certain amount of players and basically saying, we'll commit. Let's make it very simple. Liverpool are committing 10 million a year to wages. Now, it's way more than that, but just let's use 10 million as an example. They were committing 10 and they were saying, right, I'll tell you what, we will put 10 more in if we win X, Y, and Z, right? And that's the way the contracts were. From what I understand now, they will say, right, we will put 13 into the pot, okay? But 7 of it, instead of the 10 at the back end, it'll be 7 at the back end for winning X, Y, and Z. So the club are actually committing 30% more money, okay? Yeah, up front. And they've no guarantee at the other end if we win anything. So that's where the structure is updated. That's where the update has come from. And I think they are actually going to commit more money on contracts, slightly less on the back end. But the back end bit is the big risk. So that's probably where the update is coming from, in fairness. But great comments, I have to say. Remember Arsenal's situation with Aubameyang when they were going the same contract issues. Then he eventually signed, after he signed his extension, his form went downhill. Salah's a different animal to Aubameyang. Trust me, he's a different animal. If Mo is worth 350 grand a week, Gav is worth 200 grand a week for YouTube content. No, not a chance. I take that over 10 years, to be honest with you. Let me see. 95 thinks that Ox and Firmino will be gone in the summer. Well, we have got Ox up in 2023. Firmino, Mane, Salah. They're all up in 23. So is Keita. You've got Milner at the end of the season. And I think that might be about it, the first team squad. Divock Origi is actually out this summer, but Liverpool can extend to 2023, I think. So it's one of those. But look, I started off with 5 subs. News on the three lads coming back into Milan tomorrow night, which we all seem fairly confident about. I'm going to do a Kloppp update tomorrow, and the Kloppp update will be a half an hour talking about the game. Some score predictions, some team lineup predictions. Might try to get a guest on, see how that works, and we'll go from there. Tonight is winners and losers. We're finalising the lineup for that, but we'll be on at 10 o'clock. And as I said, I'll be back with the Kloppp update tomorrow, and then tomorrow night will be full-time Reds following the game at Anfield. Féileacáin is our charity, and we really need to start getting these donations flying in now. So if you're watching and you have a few quid spare, go into the description, hit the donate link for Féileacáin, donate a few quid there. It's going to be, it is a brilliant charity, and it's going to be amazing to try to get these people to 10k and €10,000, and the difference it will make to this charity is unbelievable. So if you don't believe me, go and check out their website, and it explains everything as to what sort of money or what that sort of money could do for them. So go and check them out. Please donate if possible, because we have a big push on now to get to 10k. We're over the 3k mark already, which is really good. We're only going about 6-7 weeks. So what we want to do is we want to, in the next month or two, we want to be up to 6, and then we can really push at it towards. We want to get it done by the 10th of June, when our sponsored charity Golf Day is on, with all proceeds going to Féileacáin. And if it doesn't, we'll continue it on until we hit that 10k. But if you can, please donate. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. It's not easy out there for people. Go and take the link, send it to all your family, all your friends, all your mates, whatever it might do, and whatever you can do, and it will help us get there. A few more bits before we go. G10 likes the show. Thanks again, no problem at all. What's for dinner says, great job, Gav. Cheers, mate. Brilliant as per usual, says Sass Copboy. Sass Copboy, listen, I don't know if it's a man or a woman or what, but enjoy your trip to Anfield from Ontario, Canada. Stop over in Dublin, on to Anfield, Liverpool against Inter. Really, really, really enjoy it. I hope you really do. Gav, do you know why no signed memorabilia of Mo was sold through LFC? Must have a clause in his contract, says Billy Cometio. I haven't a clue, mate. I haven't a clue. And 95 says, we need to wrap Thiago up in cotton wool. He is vital for us against big sides, especially City and the Champions League. Yeah, we sent him out for a warm-up last week, and he done himself, didn't he? Gav, have you seen Klopp's future comments? I have. Nothing has changed. Saskop is a man. Enjoy it, man. And enjoy your trip. But on the Klopp future comments, nothing's changed there. It's 2024 until something radically changes for me. That has been your Klopp update. I have to run. Let me see now. I think I've broken this. Oh no, I haven't. I am okay. We will be back later on tonight at 10. Make sure to join us. Like, subscribe, share, all that sort of stuff. But don't forget Féileacáin. That's the most important thing. Donate, or share. Over and out.